China's Foreign Ministry, or Ministry of Foreign Affairs, has again asked the Philippines to stop making provocations after the June 17 incident in the South China Sea. Noting that the merits of the maritime disputes between China and the Philippines are very clear, China's Ministry of Foreign Affairs spokesperson Mao Ning said the Chinese side has spoken on what actually happened and what its position is many times. Mao also made it clear what China's message is to the Philippines. She said, quote, stop infringing on China's rights and making provocations and to stop misleading the world. Mao also spoke about Defense Secretary Gibo Teodoro's pronouncements on the incident, calling it an aggressive and illegal use of force. She called on the Philippines to return to the right track of properly settling maritime differences through negotiation and consultation as soon as possible, and work with China to uphold peace and stability in the South China Sea. Let's now discuss this issue further with our second guest. Let me bring in Professor Aris Arugay. He is the chairperson over at the Department of Political Science in UP Diliman, and he joins us via Zoom this evening. Prof, thank you so much for taking the time to joining us tonight. How would you analyze the recent incident on June 17 at Ayungin Shoal, the seemingly contradictory press conferences and statements that came out after that, ending with today's personal account by Sergeant Jeffrey Facundo, whose finger got cut off?
Thank you for having me. I think the latest incident reveals two things. First, that China will not back down in terms of its positioning in the West Philippine Sea. We've seen that not only is it not de-escalating, but it's actually intensifying its presence and its inability to tolerate the Philippines Transparency Initiative. It not only is now using what I would call really borderline coercive actions, including injuring one member of our armed forces. We're also seeing that this is a way for China to really put a lot of pressure in our Philippine government because it feels the effects of the transparency initiative of the Marcos Jr. administration. But second, I think what is also being very clear is that, and we've seen this before, is that China is also testing the resolve of the Philippine government. And unfortunately, the multiple interpretations or the diverging, some would say, versions of what transpired and the different versions that we've seen, hopefully now being rectified by the Marcos Jr. administration, also tells you that China wants this dissonance to be able to, put some cracks or weaknesses on what should be a Philippine unified position on this issue.
Hey, Professor, taking a look at the response of government, tama si Sean, no? Medyo nakakalito. Iba-iba yung sinasabi. For example, E.S. Bersamin said that this was probably a misunderstanding or an accident, which was clarified by Defense Secretary Gibo Teodoro, saying that this was actually intentional. After going on the ground, the president having a different tune to this. And there was even a proposal by the National Maritime Council to announce RORE missions. And if you take a look at it, parang ang gulo eh. They seem so disorganized. Was the suggestion supposed to be made in internal meetings? Was that supposed to be announced in the first place?
Baka dapat di na sila nag-presko nung Friday, nung Monday na lang.
What's your read into how the Philippine government responded to June 17?
Actually, we've seen this before, no? During the previous administration. Remember, there was a ramming incident in 2019. Ganun din, no? Iba-iba yung versions. And I would not really put a lot of credit to the Duterte administration because very accommodationist naman yung policy nila towards China. So, in fact, hindi naman natin ina-expect yung administration na yon. But in this administration, I was quite surprised na nagbago ulit yung the way they respond to certain incidents in the West Philippine Sea, because I distinctly remember early this year when there were certain incidents, mas maayos at mas disiplinado yung communication, no? isa lang yung Presco, nandun lahat yung officials from DFA to PCG to DND, isa lang yung nagsasalita. Pero mukhang, yun nga, tama yung observation nyo, parang bumabalik ulit tayo dun sa napakadaming gustong mapakinggan yung boses nila. There's no disciplinary communication flow. And therefore, in fact, unfortunately, marami nakakakita nito, no? This is all covered by media. And internationally, hindi maganda yung nagiging interpretation on how the Philippine government acts when it's supposed to have a unified stance, not only on our policy, but on how we interpret events.
So bottom line, does this show some sort of weakness? Can this be mistaken as capitulation? Because I believe that's the last thing that Filipinos want.
Definitely, I think in the end, hopefully the lessons could be learned, no, from this incident, that there should be, particularly in the executive branch, no, kasi ang sistema naman natin hindi katulad sa China na over-centralized, no? Meron tayong legislature, meron tayong executive, may judiciary tayo. Pero sana man lang sa executive, no? Isa lang yung linya nila and everyone toes the line. Lalo na ngayon, dati kasi may National Task Force on the West Philippine Sea. Ngayon meron ng National Maritime Council when it's supposed to somehow really deliver coherence, no, in policy, in pronouncements. Kasi the more that we communicate, nakalat, iba-iba yung versions, we're actually giving, no, empowering and giving more points to the one who is challenging, no, our in the West Philippine Sea, no, sa atin sa Pilipinas. So a tighter control over the steering wheel, no, a tighter disciplined communication of events, and sana, no, mag-usap-usap sila. Siguro, sana maganda,
Mag-Viber
magka-group
group.
chat sila, no?
GC.
Oo, magka-GC sila. Kasi, na pwedeng gamitin yun na against government when supposed to be, the world has witnessed about how morally upright the Philippine position is, no? We're getting a lot of solidarity. We're supposed to use that leverage, no?
Okay,
In order to
Prof.
improve our posturing in the West Philippines.
Prof.
Hindi yung
Aries?
ang kino-communicate natin kalat.
Exactly. Pinoint out rin niya ni former Soljan Hilbay. Na-interview namin siya dito nung naglabas siya ng statement na sabi niya dapat daw may isang point person ang tawag niya for West Philippine Sea/South China Sea issues. What do you think of that proposal? Would that really solve it? And kung sang-ayon kayo sa
Sino?
suggestion na yun, exactly, sino at saan siya manggagaling? Mukhang mahirap maghanap ng perfect candidate for that.
I mean, let's observe how China is doing it. There's only one who is speaking. Pinakita nyo, Foreign Ministry. That's it.
The DFA,
Ganun kasimple.
it's
Pero
been
kasi-
pointed out that the DFA has been sidelined here.
They've been silent because some analysts say this is a defense issue. Pero pagtatrabaho rin ang DFA sa diplomatic side. But you're right to point it out. But as we always discuss off-camera, me and my co-anchors, ang lagi kong pinopoint out, kasi naman, obviously, Communist Party of China, they would really have very strong pillars, very strong statements, at hindi magbabago yan kahit 50 years na. I guess it's I don't want to say flaw, pero kumbaga part na yan ng character ng free speech bilang demokrasya tayo. What are your thoughts on that?
Well, totoo naman, no? If it's a defense, pero ang ano kasi dito, the West Philippine Sea issue, no? Sa tingin ko dapat talaga politics stops, no, at the water's edge, meaning hindi dapat nakikita yung dissonance among government agencies and institutions. Mahilig sabihin ng gobyerno na dapat whole of government approach, no? But that goes also to communication. So, kahit sabihin na nating defense matter siya, yung communication flow dapat maayos. And I think if it's our DFA who is speaking, then klaro that ang pinanggagalingan nito, diplomasya.
So do you think
necessarily national
napopoliticize?
security.
Do you think, Prof, napopoliticize itong issue more than it should be?
Oh, definitely. I mean, at the moment, I think, no, unlike before in our history, foreign policy has already trickled down to domestic politics. I think it's even the polarizing issue among our political elites nowadays, no? dati ang foreign policy, malayo yan sa sikmura, malayo, pero malayo yan sa consciousness ng ating mga kababayan. Pero nakita natin dito na hindi eh. Kasi yung West Philippine issue, hindi yan tulad nung sinabi nung nakarang administrasyon na tubig lang. It has something to do with our energy security. No? Maubusan na yung gas sa Malampaya. It has something to do with food security. But it has also something to do with what is ours. Anong gustong ituro ng mga gusto na, pabayaan na lang natin yung China? What is it teaching our children? Na okay lang magpabuli kahit nasa tama ka, no? So I think, in the end, no, this issue has gone simply beyond na, we can just allow China kasi total naman makikinabang tayo sa China economically. I think that ship has sailed. Kung ang pakinabang naman, pogo, I mean, at the end, I think we really need to think what we are trying to sacrifice here. Because at the end, the West Philippine Sea is for our future generations, for other Filipinos who deserve to enjoy what is ours by international law.
Prof, we're running out of time, but just really quickly, going back to the statement of China to stop provoking them and to settle our issues through diplomatic relations. Is this what we should do? How should we approach China? Having all those constructive dialogues, is that possible po?
Yung sinabi ng spokesperson, no, I think that's gaslighting par excellence eh. Kasi parang binabaliktad talaga nila yung kalagayan dito. If you would look at all the videos, yung mga naputulan tayo ng daliri, yung naram tayo, yung water cannon tayo, and yet we're the ones using force. When they're saying that they're allowing humanitarian missions, no? So pag hindi na natin in-ensure na hindi babagsak yung Sierra Madre, hindi na yun nila iaalaw kasi hindi humanitarian yun. But okay lang yung water and food. So the more that China sets the terms, the more that we're actually ceding them our sovereign rights. So let's not play into China's game. Ang importante dito, no? Klaro yung resolve natin. International law is on our side. Sabi nga ni retired Justice Carpio, hindi tayo matatalo in terms of batas. No? Kaya lang natatalo tayo because of hard power, because of muscle, because of China's military power. No? Pero sa international relations naman, hindi lahat nadadaan doon eh. No? At pinakita natin yon. So I think in the end, the Marcos Jr. administration must continue to chart the course that it has started. Kasi if ngayon pa tayo magpapalit ng positioning, no? Ngayon pa tayo magbibigay ng accommodation sa China, then I think we'll lose all reputation, not only domestically but internationally as well.